Hello YouTube, what is going on? My name is Speeding Viper and welcome to round 2. It is Malaysia. Apologies for taking a little bit of time to get it recorded and uploaded. I've had it recorded for a while, so I can't quite remember what happens in it, but haven't really had much time on my hands to be able to edit it and get the audio sorted and get it uploaded to YouTube. So there is Massa in second, Schumacher first, Barrichello and Coulthard in third and fourth. So 4 decent cars on the front rows of the grid penalties taken into effect as Ralf Schumacher on the right hand side of the screen, Felipe Massa on the left. It is going to be lights out and away we go here for the Malaysian Grand Prix. Looks to be a good start from Ralf Schumacher. Massa can't really challenge off the line. Rubens Barrichello's in there as well as David Coulthard looking vicious as we approach turn 1, and in fact he's going to go around the outside through turn 2. Passes Rubens Barrichello, I should say. Come on, Woods. But Coulthard gets himself up into third, as the two Super Gurus look to be swapping position there. As I think, yeah, Barrichello has indeed got past David Coulthard. So Ralf Schumacher still leads this race, so Toyota is decent. It is doing what it needs to do right now. But you gotta think Massa, it's only a matter of time before he gets past. So there's Liuzzi, he's all over the back of Takuma Sato in the Super Guri. He's going to have a look up the inside into the hairpin, but he has to back out of that one. So there's Barrichello, looks to be closing in on Ralf Schumacher and Felipe Massa. So Massa, if he doesn't want his fellow Brazilian in the Honda behind him, right up there with him, then he's going to have to get past Ralf Schumacher as quickly as he can. So he's dropped back a little bit after having to back out of that move, but surely the straight line speed of the Toro Rosso is going to close him in. We've seen the Toro Rosso get past Red Bulls at Bahrain, so you've got to think a straight line like this, and surely that Liuzzi is going to be able to throw it up the inside into the next turn. But Michael Schumacher's all over the back of Liuzzi as cars are switching from left to right. There's Kimi Räikkönen 19th. He's on the back of one of the Renaults as Trulli goes up the inside of Scott Speed. Ralf Schumacher second, so that means Massa has taken the lead. Must have done it on the back straight or into the final corner. There's Liuzzi in 7th place now. So it's Michael Schumacher's turn to get past the Japanese driver of Takuma Sato. And it's got to be an easy move for the 7-time world champion. Such a superior car, superior driver. It should be an easy move. There's Christian Klein getting overtook by Nick Heidfeld. I was just about to mention that he's on the back of one of the BMW Saubers, but Heidfeld throws it up the inside. So this is a rare occasion where Villeneuve is actually ahead of Nick Heidfeld. Christian Albers has Liuzzi for company fairly soon as Michael Schumacher runs wide. That could affect him going down the straight. He might not be able to get past now. The move was looking there, it was looking promising, but he did run wide on the exit of the corner, and that means, yeah, he's not going to get past Sato with a little bit of a defensive line, and the advantage of Schumacher running wide means he keeps the place for now as Liuzzi's all over the back of the car ahead. There's Liuzzi's up the inside and Sato's up the inside of Michael Schumacher. So is Villeneuve actually. And Villeneuve is going to have the outside for turn 2, but he gets it done. Unbelievable move by Jacques Villeneuve, showing he still has some pace left in him as Alonso is going around the outside of Scott Speed through turn 3. But the slippery Toro Rosso defends the place for now, as Villeneuve's immediately thrown up the inside of Sato. Wow. Okay, Villeneuve is on a charge right now. Sato is now out of the points. Villeneuve holding that last point, and Michael Schumacher is still not pass the Super Aguri, despite the fact that Jacques Villeneuve made it look easy. There's Rubens Barrichello and Ralf Schumacher. They're close together now. You can see a battle between these two. As there's Felipe Massa with such a gap already, and we're only going on to lap 3 or 4. It's Ide, is Montagny, I believe it is. No, it is Ide. Oh, what's this about Fisichella? But it is indeed Ide that is driving the car. Oh, interesting. So there's Fisichella. Raikkonen's out as well. We're going to have to take a look at a replay of this. So here's the replay now. This is Fisichella. He comes around, he goes wide, and oh! Coming back on, Raikkonen just goes straight into his front wheel. And that's the two of them out of the Grand Prix. As Michael Schumacher's down the outside to Takuma Sato, but it's not going to work. And Nick Heidfeld copies his slightly more experienced teammate, and he gets the move done also. So both BMW Saubers overtaking Michael Schumacher in the Ferrari. But Rubens Barrichello has got past Ralf Schumacher and has pulled out a bit of a gap already, so top 4 starting to settle out a bit now, maybe top 5 as Liuzzi is up into 5th. There's Heidfeld, so the two BMW Saubers on a charge, and meanwhile Michael Schumacher is stuck behind Takuma Sato. As Christian Klein runs wide, that could put him under pressure from Scott Speed behind. Scott Speed's right there, he's having a look around the outside for the hairpin, but that's not going to work. As the Renault is in there as well. I think that's Alonso. There's Michael Schumacher still stuck behind Takuma Sato. Will this be the lap where he gets past? No, he runs wide again! So, oh, that is a car round. It's a Renault. That, of course, is Alonso. Fisichella out of the race. He gets back going now. So Renault and Ferrari appear to be making a few mistakes here when in the dirty air, which it can be said for both Renaults, as they both have an instant at that corners. Is that truly? That is truly. He's gone up the inside of Michael Schumacher and Takuma Sato. Schumacher went up the inside of Sato, and Trulli went up the inside of both of them. And that is 2 moves in 1 for Jarno Trulli. But Michael Schumacher is going to be wanting to get past as quickly as he can, and he makes it look easier. So much easier compared to that move against Takuma Sato. Unbelievable. Took him a few laps to get past the Japanese driver. Takes him a corner to get past Jarno Trulli. But he's now coming onto the back of the Midlands car. I believe that was Alba's. There's Trulli. Trulli is not dropping off at the moment. It could look to retake Michael Schumacher should he get stuck behind the Midland car. As Christian Klein isn't doing too badly actually. He's sat in 12th, I believe. Scott Speed still holding on to that 14th. Jenson Button now coming into the foreplay. So I believe that's Montero in the background defending from a Williams. Button's having a look up the inside into the penultimate corner. The gap is out to 4.1 seconds now. So Heidfeld round the outside into the final corner as Barrichello pulls away from Ralf Schumacher. And there is David Coulthard still hanging in there for Red Bull. And so is Liuzzi in 5th place as he's got the 2 BMW Saubers charging down on him. There's Michael Schumacher still out of the points in 9th place. And he's been hovering in around 9th or 10th for a good few laps now. Getting stuck behind Takuma Sato definitely didn't help his race charges. As Christian Klein getting a bit argy-bargy with Christian Albers. So the 2 Christians. And Alba's getting the slightly better exit. He defends the place as Jenson Button moves his way into 13th. Christian Klein is not having too bad of a race, and he is all over the back of Christian Albers. I'm going to have to stop saying Christian, and more Christians, as there's Alonso now. Brilliant change there, but there's Felipe Massa. Rubens Barrichello still firmly hovering there behind him. Good 3 or 4 seconds maybe behind, but I don't think he's going to be able to catch him.
He's just posted a lap time of 1:33.39. The lead he's built up over Ralf Schumacher continues to grow. The gap is now over 5 seconds.
Oh, who's that? That's Liuzzi!
Here's the current
Liuzzi out, so I was just about to mention Schumacher's and how Michael Schumacher ran wide again at that penultimate corner. That seems to be why he's struggling, went behind cars, but Liuzzi out of this race, and where's Heidfeld? We're gonna have to take a look at a replay of this. Heidfeld nowhere to be seen. Here we go, so there's Heidfeld there. Villeneuve is in between Liuzzi and Heidfeld, so there's definitely no contact. Liuzzi, that sounds like a gearbox failure. There's no smoke, so I'm guessing a gearbox failure. And then Heidfeld has an engine failure. Unbelievable. And actually, speaking of going wide, Michael Schumacher almost running into the back of Heidfeld, as my monitor actually went into power saving mode for a second. That was interesting. There's Klein, so he's up to 9th now after that, as Button throws it up the inside of Albers, takes the top 10 spot away from him. It's not points, but it is a top 10. And when there's 22 cars, a top 10 is a good position. Not quite as good as points or a podium or even a win, but it is still up there. There's Massa and Barrichello. We're going to see now, as he rounds the corner, goes to this camera. There's Barrichello, so he has lost a little bit of ground. Gap maybe opening to about maybe 7 seconds, maybe.
He's just posted a lap time of 1:33.15. He's continuing to extend his lead over Barrichello.
There is Alonso through past Montoya. This cost Kimi Räikkönen out of this race following a collision with the other Renault of Giancarlo Fisichella, but Felipe Massa is definitely pulling away from Rubens Barrichello. Nico Rosberg right on the back of Scott Speed now. Will he throw it up the inside into the final corner? No, he won't. Neither will Alonso on E-Day. Or is that Sato? Probably Sato. Oh well, doesn't really matter too much. But Alonso down the outside now. All I saw was a Japanese flag. That does not help. But Montoya up the inside of both of them into turn 1. He gets the move done. It is indeed Sato. Scott Speed still ahead of the Williams. There is Christian Klein, so he's up into the points now. I believe both of them have got past E-Day. Yes, E-Day is down to 10th, I think. But there is Coulthard, Villeneuve in 5th. There's Klein, as I mentioned, 8th place for him, so he's having a great race at the moment. Jenson Button in 9th place, always qualified well, apart from 1 or 2 incidents in qualifying for Jenson Button throughout 2006. So it does leave him a little bit of work to do in these races with the reverse grid format. But Massa, Barrichello unchanged. Ralf Schumacher still unchanged for position.
We're now 3/4 of the way into
the front few have definitely settled down into a rhythm now.
Next is Ralf Schumacher.
As after retirements and things, I believe it is just Red Bull, the only team to have 2 cars in the points. I'm not quite sure where Michael Schumacher is. That'll be good to know.
His fastest tour of the circuit so far. He's just posted a lap time of 1:33.39. Villeneuve is posting slower times than that. His lap times have been right in the middle of the 1:35.
Forget everything I literally just said, because Michael Schumacher is also in the points ahead of Klein. So Ferrari are ahead of Red Bull in both aspects, and double points for the duo. As Alonso round the outside of Scott Speed, this time gets the move done, but it is Montoya versus Alonso as they go through the back markers now, all the traffic circulating towards the back of the grid, and it is McLaren versus Renault as they fight their way through it. That could be key for Montoya as he just throws it at the inside of the Midlands car of that is Alba's. That could be very key because now Alonso is stuck behind Albers as he goes through this technical section. Montoya pulling out a gap with that advantage, but there's Massa.
Pushing himself a bit harder. The question is, at this late stage, does he have the skill to catch him? It looks like Villeneuve may be overtaken in a short while. The gap now stands at 1.3 seconds.
So it's just 1.3 seconds between Michael Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve as Massa continues to pull away in the lead, but it could be a double top 5 for Ferrari at the way it's going. Jacques Villeneuve, he got past, he pulled out a bit of a gap, but now Michael Schumacher reeling him back in. Now that the Super Guris are out the way, the Toro Rossos are out the way.
The gap has decreased to 0.4 of a second.
But it is less than half a second now between the two of them as they almost touch going through turn 1. It is the final couple of laps here. So Michael Schumacher's all over the back of Jacques Villeneuve now. Can he get past? Can he take the position? He has a look up the inside into turn 4, thinks better of it.
By another 0.2 of a second.
But according to that, it is 0.2 between them, and I can see how that is as Michael Schumacher is all over the back of Jacques Villeneuve. Both former world champions. Michael Schumacher 7-time though, as he runs wide again. So Ferrari, Michael Schumacher definitely struggling with understeer when behind another car, because every time he gets close to a car, he understeers wide at some key corners. But Massa just pulling out a gap. This has been a dominant drive for Felipe Massa in the Ferrari. It's been a dominant drive for Brazil in general.
Massa is first, Barrichello is second. Next is Ralf Schumacher, Coulthard fourth, Villeneuve is fifth, Michael Schumacher sixth, Trulli seventh, and Button eighth. That's a gain of 1 place.
Button's made his way into the points now. Where's Clean? Clean's out! That's Clean!
And he's doing just that.
Engine failure for Christian Clean as Michael Schumacher looks to go up the inside of Jacques Villeneuve into turn 1. Yes, he does. Gets the move done. He had to think about it at the final corner, but it wasn't going to work. Gets it done now into turn 1.
No holding him back. Villeneuve doesn't look like he has the speed to respond.
Villeneuve out of the top 5, but Jenson Button gifted 8th place by Christian Clean retiring. Rosberg 9th, Montoya in 10th. I don't think Alonso's going to be able to catch him. That move, getting past Albers, was absolutely key in their battle. And this is just showing you why. Because Montoya in 10th, and he's got a few seconds gap back to Fernando Alonso, the world champion.
Massa in P1 has begun his last lap. Barrichello is in second.
So there is Felipe Massa as he rounds the first couple of corners on his final lap of the Grand Prix. Rubens Barrichello in second, Ralf Schumacher third, David Coulthard fourth. The top 4 has remained unchanged for almost the entire race, as they've just been in no man's land really. Massa pulling away in the lead. Barrichello faster than the Toyota, but not as quick as the Ferrari, and Ralf Schumacher not as quick as Barrichello, but quicker than Coulthard.
He's just posted a lap time of 1:33.29. That's markedly faster than Coulthard. He's been lapping around the high 1:34s, low 1:35s.
So I believe that was Michael Schumacher closing in on Coulthard, but there's such a gap that it's impossible for him to catch up within a lap as Montoya looks to get past Rosberg. Throws it up the inside. Indeed he does so. So Montoya absolutely 1 step ahead of Fernando Alonso throughout this race. But here is Felipe Massa. He's coming down the back straight now. We'll be rounding the final corner in just a few seconds. An absolutely dominant drive from the Brazilian. That's going to be a maximum 10 points for him. Absolutely brilliant. It's going to give him a championship challenge, certainly, as he comes across the line to win in Malaysia.
And top spot on the podium.
Rubens Barrichello comes across the line to make it a Brazilian 1-2. And Ralf Schumacher is able to beat his brother by 2 positions as he comes across the line in third, starting from pole. And David Coulthard, no position change for him, 4th place. But there is Michael Schumacher as he rounds the final corners. People still going through that hairpin, starting on the start of sector 3. Wow. But there is Michael Schumacher. He crosses the line. Look at the gap he pulled out to Jacques Villeneuve. I believe Jacques Villeneuve was coming under pressure from Jarno Trulli within the closing stages. And there's Jenson Button, he closed in as well. But there is Montoya as Fernando Alonso gets past on the final corner to claim the final top 10. It's not points, but he finishes 1 place behind Juan Pablo Montoya, who was just 1 step ahead of him every lap, it seems. So Scott Speed finishing 13th. E-Day 12th, I believe. But this has been an absolutely spectacular Malaysian Grand Prix. Look at that, 6.2 seconds is the gap between the 2 Brazilians at the front. Both quite strong cars, but it was indeed Massa who came out on top.
It's always exciting to watch an F1 car driven in anger around here.
So E-Day was indeed 12th.
We'll see you in 2 weeks' time in Australia at Albert Park for round 3. Until then, take care.
So Australia wasn't the first round because of the Commonwealth Games, but it is going to be next time. So now time to move on to the championship standings. So here is the championship standings. It is Felipe Massa who now leads the way with 16 points. After I believe that's now 2 podium positions for the Brazilian. He is looking to be a favourite at the moment for the championship. Ralf Schumacher on 14 points in second, and Kimi Raikkonen is still there in third place, not taking any points away from this race. He DNF'd it due to a collision with, I believe it was Giancarlo Fisichella. Rubens Barrichello is up to 4th place with 8 points, and speaking of Fisichella, he's joined for 5th place with the man who came 4th today. It is David Coulthard and Giancarlo Fisichella level for 5th place. Jenson Button, Liuzzi and Villeneuve all on 4 points, and it is Montoya and Trulli, the last 2, to be holding points. The rest aren't ordered in position. That does take a while to do, and the reason it took so long to get uploaded is because I am limited for time. So later on in the season I will make sure that it is ordered position wise, but for now it is going to be like this, just a huge mess. So I believe Scott Speed has not moved positions at all. But the 2 Super Gurus, they yet to score points. The 2 Midlands yet to score. Red Bull have some points on the board now, but that is going to be it. Join me next time in Melbourne for Australia. It is going to be a good one, and round 3 will be on probably next week. Hopefully it is next week, but either way, I'll see you then.